Is this a book series or something? Seems like it's a book series. Probably should have looked that up before recording. Mortal Engines is the new Peter Jackson movie that's not really a Peter Jackson movie, but it's been pretty much marketed as a Peter Jackson movie. In fact, Peter Jackson did write and produce the movie, but didn't direct it. But you do see his fingerprints all over it. But anyway, Mortal Engines takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where cities now move around, like literally on wheels. These cities drive around all the time, and the real big cities like London eat the small cities. But yeah, all the cities are mobile now. Why? I don't know. It never really says. But it looks pretty fucking cool. We follow some characters doing some stuff, trying to get to some places. I'm not gonna go too much into the actual story of this movie, because that's not really what this movie's about. It's more about the world as a whole, and that is definitely its strong point. The actual story itself is a bit convoluted, and it'd take a while to describe. And not only is it convoluted, it's a little lacking in places. The movie starts out strong. The first few minutes are awesome. And honestly, the first half of the movie is really entertaining and you're very engaged. But somewhere around the middle part of the movie, things just start taking a downward turn. It never gets awful, that's for sure. But there are some parts where it gets a little boring. The final third to half of the movie is kind of a roller coaster ride of, this is boring, oh exciting, oh that's boring, oh it's exciting, oh it's boring again. And because of that, the movie's about 2-hour runtime seems like it's about 3 hours. And not in that good Return of the King 3 hours kind of way. No, in that bad falling the fuck asleep kind of way. It's really unfortunate because the first half of the movie sets up a great world that is so interesting. But it's the people that inhabit this really interesting world and their character arcs sometimes become really boring. And it's mainly because at more than one point in the movie after the halfway mark, the movie gets so slow. I like the extended versions of movies, but I also recognize some movies need to cut the trash out. This movie could have definitely benefited from having about 20 to maybe even 30 minutes cut out of it. And it's not necessarily like one specific scene either. Just some of the shots could have been a lot shorter. The movie will just dwell on things for the longest time for no reason whatsoever. There's a part near the end of the movie where they're like shooting this big huge laser gun thing, and in order to shoot it, it has to like gather up power and recharge and then come out and bam, shoot what it's shooting at. And seeing that one time, that's fine. But watching that whole process from beginning to end like 8 times gets really old. There's just no need for that. And there's all this other stuff going on around it that you could be focusing on, but no, we're watching this big gun slowly come out and charge up and get ready to shoot. Nope, it's not ready yet. Here it comes any minute now. Don't worry, there's lots of other stuff going on all over the place that you might be interested to know what's going on with that. Boom, oh, it shot. Okay, cool. Moments like that really drag the movie down. I know it seems like a nitpick, but when there's like 20 of those moments, it really gets slow and boring. And I hate that because I really want to like this movie. Because I really like the world. When the movie's firing on all cylinders, it's really exciting and great to watch. The acting here is nothing to write home about, but none of it's bad. It's fine. As I said, the star of the show is the world, not the actors. But they all do passable jobs. There is one story arc that happens within the movie that I found extremely fascinating. Like I said earlier, I don't want to ruin anything. But there's a character that shows up that's going after another character. I won't say any more, but that story and what it evolves into was very interesting and very well done. And while I'm sitting here talking about cutting the movie shorter, that particular story arc, I think they should have extended out. It's not the main story for sure, but I was very intrigued the whole time that arc was going on. And by the end of that arc, it has true heart and actually makes you feel for these characters. It's a great shining spot within this movie and really elevates the whole entire movie. One thing that doesn't fall short in this movie is the special effects. They're great. Peter Jackson's special effects company, Weta, really earned their paychecks with this one. This movie's very special effects heavy, and Weta did a fantastic job. When you see these cities moving around and the way that they transform and move over the terrain, it's just great to look at and extremely interesting, and all very convincing. At the end of the day, I am really conflicted with this movie because I want to like it so bad, but I can't ignore some of its shortcomings. I don't know if it's a pre-existing series or not, or if it'll even get a sequel. If it does, I hope they cut it a little shorter and focus more on these characters like they did in that particular arc that I discussed earlier. If they would do that, I think the sequel could be great. But realistically, the way that I understand this movie performed, probably not getting a sequel. So at the end of the day, while I really, really want to like this movie, I really, really want to suggest this movie to people, I can't really say go out and see it or go and buy it. Really, I can't even say it's worth renting. Though I do think it will find a good home on Netflix. Whenever it makes it to a streaming service, give it a watch. You'll be entertained. And maybe with the option to pause some of those boring parts and come back to them, it might be a little more bearable. So there it is, guys, my review of The Mortal Engines. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
I really wanted to like this movie so much, but oh my God, some of the scenes are so boring.
Hey, watch out!
Valentine, this is for my mother.
No, really, I dozed off while watching it.